While most people are rushing out the door on Friday night, planning their weekend adventures, posting their Saturday brunch photos, there's a whole group of people who feel a wave of relief when they can finally close their door and stay in. If you're someone who genuinely prefers staying home on weekends over going out, this video is going to explain exactly why you're wired this way. And no, there's nothing wrong with you. So, are you ready to understand yourself a little better? Let's dive in. People who love staying home on weekends aren't antisocial, lazy, or boring, despite what society might suggest. In fact, psychological research shows that this preference is linked to some fascinating personality traits and cognitive patterns. Today we're going to explore 3 distinct psychological profiles that explain why you might be someone who finds weekends at home not just acceptable, but absolutely essential. You might see yourself in one of these, or maybe all 3. The first profile is what psychologists call the sensory regulator. If this is you, your nervous system processes environmental stimuli more intensely than the average person. This is related to a trait called sensory processing sensitivity, first identified by psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron. Here's what's happening in your brain. Throughout the week, you're absorbing everything: the fluorescent lights at work, the conversations around you, the traffic noise, the social interactions, the decisions, the expectations. Your nervous system is like a sponge that's been soaking up water all week long. By the time the weekend arrives, you're not just tired, you're overstimulated. Staying home isn't about avoiding fun, it's about regulation. Your home is your decompression chamber, where you can finally turn down the volume on the world. You might be a sensory regulator if you feel physically drained after social events, even enjoyable ones. You need silence or controlled sound environments to recharge. Crowded places make you feel anxious or overwhelmed. You notice details others miss: sounds, textures, lighting. You've been called too sensitive your whole life. And here's the important part. This isn't a weakness. Research shows that highly sensitive people often have enhanced empathy, deeper processing abilities, and greater awareness of subtleties in their environment. Your weekend at home is literally necessary for your nervous system to reset. You're not avoiding life, you're protecting your ability to engage with it fully. The second profile is the autonomous creator. If this resonates with you, your weekends at home aren't about rest, they're about creation and self-directed activity. This connects to self-determination theory in psychology, which identifies autonomy as one of 3 basic psychological needs. For you, the weekend represents freedom from external demands and the precious opportunity to engage in intrinsically motivated activities. Here's what makes you different. While others seek stimulation from external sources, bars, restaurants, events, you generate your own sense of fulfillment through personal projects, hobbies, learning, or creative pursuits. You might be reading, writing, painting, coding, gardening, cooking elaborate meals, learning an instrument, or diving deep into subjects that fascinate you. The key is that you're in control of your time and energy. You might be an autonomous creator if you have multiple hobbies or projects that excite you. You feel frustrated when weekends are filled with obligations. You'd rather spend 3 hours on a personal project than 3 hours at a party. You experience flow states regularly when you're alone. You feel like weekends are never long enough for everything you want to do. People don't understand that you're not bored, you're engaged. Here's what research tells us. Studies on intrinsic motivation show that people who engage in self-directed activities report higher levels of life satisfaction and psychological well-being than those who rely primarily on external entertainment. Your weekends at home aren't empty. They're full of meaning that you've created yourself. The third profile is the Social Energy Conservationist. This one's about understanding your social battery and respecting its limits. In psychology, this relates to the introversion-extroversion spectrum, but it's more nuanced than just being an introvert. Even some extroverts fall into this category because of their specific life circumstances. Here's the reality. If you work in a people-facing job, if you're a parent, If you're a caregiver, if you manage teams, if you're constantly on during the week, your social energy is depleted by Friday. The idea of spending your precious weekend making small talk, navigating social dynamics, or being on for more people feels like the opposite of rest. You might be a social energy conservationist if your job requires significant social interaction. You feel like you're performing when you're out in public. You love your friends but still need breaks from them. You'd rather have one deep conversation than 10 surface-level ones. Sunday night feels peaceful instead of depressing. You've mastered the art of the polite decline. And here's what's crucial to understand. This isn't about disliking people. It's about recognizing that social interaction, even positive social interaction, requires energy expenditure for you. Research on ego depletion and decision fatigue shows that every social interaction involves micro-decisions. What to say, how to respond, reading social cues, managing impressions. For you, weekends at home mean freedom from this constant cognitive load. You're not antisocial, you're strategically social. You're conserving your energy for the interactions that truly matter. Now here's something important. You might see yourself in all three of these profiles. Maybe you're a highly sensitive person who also has creative projects and also needs to conserve social energy. These aren't mutually exclusive. They often overlap and reinforce each other. The common thread. You've learned something that many people haven't, that true rest and fulfillment don't look the same for everyone. Society tells us that weekends should be about going out, being social, having adventures, making memories with others, and for some people that's absolutely right. But for you, your most restorative, most fulfilling, most authentic weekend might involve your couch, a good book, your favourite hobby, and absolutely no obligation to be anywhere or see anyone. And that's not just okay, it's healthy. So which profile resonated most with you? Are you the sensory regulator protecting your nervous system, the autonomous creator pursuing your passions, or the social energy conservationist strategically managing your resources? Drop a comment below and let me know. I love hearing which one you identify with, or if you're a combination of all three. And if this video helped you understand yourself a little better, or made you feel seen, please hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about understanding the psychology behind who we are, especially for those of us who don't quite fit the mainstream mold. You're part of a community here that gets it. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with me. Whether you're watching this from your couch, your bed, or your favourite corner of your home, I'll see you in the next video.